sit back, relax, and let's start the motherfucking beat.
Get this message out here. I'm doing what I love to help a community out. Like, you know what I mean?
What is the next step? What's the one thing I can do today that's going to get us one?
So, I mean, I don't know what's in the future.
Art is the only way you can reach out to the future. It is the only thing that actually lives through a time capsule.
And I think that if the DIY scene as a whole put more of a value on itself, it could be a lot more sustainable.
Now, if someone doesn't like it, that's their deal.
Am I still being heard?
Listen, I wonder.
That's all you. My chair doesn't make any noise.
Oh man, here, let me see if I can swap out chairs real quick. For anybody listening, this one's a little better. Anyone listening, we are not at my house today. We're at Work Hard, home of Epicast and other things, waiting for a Brutal Beer Fest meeting. And let me do an intro, and then we'll get it going from there. Yeah. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sikes. My name is Sikes, and this is my podcast. It's very boomy in this room. Just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out last week's episode. If you're one of the people who listened to that conversation, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for coming back. I never acknowledged the camera, so I'm doing it. If you're one of the people who listened to that conversation, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for coming back. I just said that, didn't I?
Yep.
But for anyone out there who is new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Well, we're not at home, so there isn't a fridge in this room, but there's probably beer and soda somewhere.
Yeah.
And today, I am sitting here with my friend, returning guest to the show.
That's right.
Speak that truth. Who you is?
I'm Brendan Cope. I'm now identifying as For Rest for the first time publicly. No, that's not true. Not publicly. For the first time on record, I'm identifying as For Rest is my music.
So _rest or for space rest. I know that's like your Instagram handle has the underscore. Well, I'm confused.
Instagram has the underscore, but Instagram has to have the underscore because anytime you put a space in,
it doesn't work.
Right.
Gotcha. So it's just For Rest.
For Rest,
which is a clever spin.
It's a spin.
William Forrest,
right?
Which anybody who listened to the last episode with you, which I should have looked up when that was. It was a couple years ago, maybe.
Was it that long?
Maybe
ago?
a year and a half ago. I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
In that time frame, I think that you were like kind of in the middle of a transformation with William Forrest, which was I guess for, indie rock, post-rock sort of project. Then the band saw some changes, some member changes, and then started seeing some stylistic changes. And over the course from then until now, I'm guessing that the project has decided to be disbanded or kind of pushed to the side. And now you are on a solo endeavor.
Yes.
Creating primarily electronic sounds.
Sort of.
But like analog electronic sounds.
Yes. Not at all. It is in no way, shape, or form any version of rock and roll, which is because we had...
There are no
as
strings.
A band, there are strings, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
but as a band, we went from indie rock in whatever year that was, 2009 or 2010 or whatever that was, and became, what it was. We sounded like Kings of Leon or everybody else.
Sounded like Kings of Leon.
Early on.
Okay.
And then after that, we became the next iteration of that, where we wanted to be more like Interpol or more like so-and-so, and then we became heavier. And then when we moved to the city and we sort of started playing around with a lot of the DIY scene, I think we became the heaviest iteration. And then we kind of realized that wasn't us. And so we were on our way back. And it was on our way back that I think everybody sort of felt like we were forcing not only the music, but forcing the way that we presented the music outside, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to do now, having learned that lesson and going through those motions.
It's so wild. I think it's a really interesting story for me the curious case of William Forrest, we'll call it. Whereas like the sound, the last material that was put out under William Forrest, which I
Right.
believe was that EP. I think was it the EP
Right.
that I played the release show for?
Yes.
Okay, so that seemed like such like flushed out, like very realized material. Like, oh, we finally got to a place where we know what we're doing as a band, and like, but I'm getting this impression that it was like the result of maybe not necessarily knowing what you were doing, or knowing what you were doing, but just not being happy with what had happened.
I think it's a little mix of all of that. I mean, we knew what we were doing. We knew that we were doing something that like a lot of other people, especially in Pittsburgh, were not doing. And we knew that the people that liked it really did like it, and we really did like it. The problems arose when I think we sort of lost our place physically in the scope of Pittsburgh music in a lot of ways, because we didn't, genre-wise, we didn't really fit in. And at the time, I mean, Sam, Patrick, and Brandon, when he was playing with us, drums, bass, keyboards, were all under 21 until recently. So like we couldn't break into the spirit scene. We didn't really fit in with the DIY scene. We didn't want to play the Smiling Moose all the time because
Sure.
that's, I mean, so it came to this point where like playing shows started to stress at least one of us out every time we booked a show. And that was a big reason behind it. This, I'm going to call it a perpetual hiatus. I would say though that if and when the band itself comes back, it will be a different name, a different, you know what I mean?
Different thing.
We're in a,
Because you still talk to everybody, I imagine, right?
I still live with Sam and Patrick.
Yeah, like you're all
I
still
mean,
homies.
Yeah,
So
and we're
it's just-
all making solo music right now. So it's our house went from being like crazy loud working on music together to now just like
Everybody's have headphones on.
3 levels of crazy loud.
Oh, okay.
First floor, second floor, third floor, all 3 of us are just simultaneously recording. So it's different. It's good though. I'm forcing myself to make it good.
So, like, I know we probably talked about this before, but for the record now, what was the inspiration to, like, put the guitar down and focus on other
my
things?
God.
Because, like, you guys are such good rock songwriters, and it's just, like,
Right.
it doesn't, like, I'm not, like, mesmerized by the fact that you don't want to do it anymore. It's just
Right.
super interesting that, like, you decided to make that change, like, and go for it. Because I think there's a lot of people that are afraid to, like, they get good at something and then, like,
Right.
they just kind of latch onto it. You know, they don't seek other endeavors or
Yeah,
take that
yeah,
risk
yeah,
that it seems like
no.
you took.
I
'Cause it's been a
mean-
while for, like, 'cause you're getting ready to put out solo material now, right?
Yeah.
And, like, in a way, it feels like, I can imagine it was almost like learning how to write music all over again.
Oh, completely. I mean, for some historical context of this arc, when I was 12 or 13 years old, whatever, I picked up a guitar. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be a lead guitar player in a band, period. That's it. That's all I wanted. When you hit high school and you realize that no one wants to sing for your band that you're trying to start at all,
Yeah.
then I had to become a singer. And then I was like, all right, I want to be a frontman of a band. That's it. Singer, guitar player, period. Nothing else. And then, I mean, there was this shift in, I mean, music as a whole. Like, you had Blonde, Frank Ocean come out. And I mean, that album, there's guitar on it. There's probably more guitar on that album than there are, like, actual drum tracks. And I think we all got, like, immersed in these different legs of either sample-based or electronic-based music. And there was a point where we were just trying to create music that had more space to it. And I don't mean, like, spacier music, but, like, more room. Because we had felt that we were starting to wear into that, like, really busy,
Well, yeah.
almost repetitive, like, everybody's playing their instruments all the time.
Sure, William Forrest was very dense and, like, very, like, thick instrumentation.
Right. And that
But
I
it was
mean,
good.
It was good.
But if
and,
that's not what you want to do,
and
then I totally
we were
get
just
it.
trying. So the songs that our last songs post that EP were a lot airier. They never were. They'll be released at some point. They're not released now. But they had a lot more space to breathe. And at that time, I was sort of in the headspace that I was like, I really want to just sing, which was a total shift. I mean, that was like a huge 180 for me to be like, all right, now I want this to be the instrument of choice for me. And I don't know, the guitar had it had worn thin on me because I had just done it for so long. And I think it was just starting to erode in a lot of ways. And now I'm writing this record solo, and it's sort of electronic, it's sort of hip hop, it's sort of pop, and I'm finding myself laying down so many guitar tracks on it.
Oh yeah.
I've gone back to playing guitar. I've gone from the 180 to a full 360, where I'm ending up playing guitar again, but it's in such a different way, and it's been refreshing in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
I imagine
you do it. You have multiple projects.
Well, I imagine it's probably easy for you to execute ideas that are in your head via guitar versus other instruments.
Definitely, because that's what I had originally, and I am no drummer whatsoever, so I'm being super reliant on drum machines and digital instruments in general. But I'm also playing a lot of keyboard, a lot of synth, which is just I can have fun with that stuff in a way because there's an unpredictable aspect to it. And there's also no one to tell me no. So I have to be both the surprised human being that has this sound fall in their lap, and also the one that's critical enough with myself to be like, don't use that sound. I know it surprised you, but don't use it. That's not what you wanted.
Yeah.
And so in that way, it's been very different writing these songs and trying to flesh out ideas, and also leading as a singer, which is, it's just not something I've done before. That's the important part in all of this.
What is vocally different from what you're doing now versus what you did with William Forrest?
Well, my voice is better. That's no.
They're more vocal driven songs?
In a large way, it actually is. I'm treating my voice as an instrument rather than just the vehicle to deliver the words. I think early on, especially in William Forrest, I wasn't comfortable as a singer. I was thrown into it, and that was just I have words. We have to put them in this song. I'm gonna just do it. But with that, there were a lot of growing pains and a lot of cringes. I'd look back going for this high note, and somebody would be just choking out over there, trying to make sure that I was gonna hit this note, and that doesn't happen anymore. There's a confidence behind the singing part and the constructing melodies that's totally new for me, and so that's been it's been painful.
Growing pains.
But when somebody else records you for yourself, you sing, they tell you how many times to sing. They're like, do it this way, do it that way. And then they're like, that was good. We're going to use it. Now, man, I'm just listening to myself sing the same shit.
That's
over
why
and
I
over
don't
again.
record my own vocals.
That's smart, but I'm constricted on time, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, totally. I understand that. I demo stuff for myself and things like that. But for big projects, I always make sure I just set aside the time, schedule a day, go to a studio and just record what I need to record with another engineer that has a good ear for what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
And isn't going to be afraid to be that's shit. Don't do that. Bad idea. Offer idea.
Right.
Almost help produce.
Right. You're admittedly more proactive than I am.
Well, hey, you could change. It's just so
growing
hard.
pains,
It's
yeah.
so hard to fucking focus on your like performance when you're also focused on production.
Yes.
You get lost in it. You can't,
Yes.
you know.
And I mean, I'm about
Like, can you imagine driving a car and doing a repair on it at the same time?
no. Oh, damn, that's good. I could try though. That's what I'm doing.
All
I'm
right.
trying.
I mean, there's plenty of people that
what am I
self-record,
repairing?
whatever works for you, man. But
Right. And I mean, what is being created now is a stepping stone to whatever I do next. And that's sort of
so that's an interesting perspective. Like, you don't necessarily view this as being like, oh, like this is the thing, finally my thing coming out. More or less like, hey, this is a thing, just to
correct. I mean,
like, a
admittedly,
piece of what is to come.
admittedly, I had writer's block 2 days ago, and I ended up writing 3 different songs that don't fit at all with the 6 to 8 songs that are going to come out on this tape. And I was like, maybe I should work on 2 EPs at once. Maybe I should, which I can do because, again, there's no one to tell me no, as long as I divvy up my time in a realistic way and realize that I want it to be this sort of conscious stream of music that comes out. And it's not, I'm letting go of a little bit of my perfectionism, which has been so detrimental to me as an artist forever.
Yeah, I understand that, and I agree that I've been letting go of things too.
Right.
Because most of the time, at the end of the day, unfortunately, the only person that notices those nuances is
It's you. Yeah.
You know?
Right. And that's the other thing that I'm starting to realize. It's like, give it to some people, a handful of people to listen to that are close to you, and let them give you whatever feedback they give you and trust them in that, instead of just sitting in your zone and hearing, every mistake, every little, I mean, to the point that it's just like, this is never going to come out unless you re-record the whole thing, because you go down that rabbit hole too far and you're going to miss the sound entirely.
Yeah. That, and also if I go back and revisit material I've worked on in the past, some of the stuff that blows me away the most is the stuff that I spent the least amount of time on.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like this energy that's there.
Right.
That you lose when you focus in on something too much. It's like you unintentionally like sterilize the performance, and it becomes
I was
very
gonna
like
say it's like hand sanitizer or something. Yeah.
I was a friend's band of mine who I won't mention. I was listening to some of their stuff that had been recorded, and I was listening to a song that they had recorded.
Right.
And this song, I'd seen them play it live on several occasions. And I mean, like, they're a very good live band. They've always been a better live band than a studio band. Very raw energy, always a little grittier, just that extra thing where it's like the perfection is kind of gone, but not in a bad way, like in a good way. It's like this like animalistic sort of like, whoa, like,
yeah,
like like all the human elements to like, because they're a rock band. And then I heard this recorded version of this song that I had heard before, and like literally what I said was, I feel like I just had a wet nap shoved in my mouth. Like, yeah, it's like the cleanest, like there's nothing nothing like raw about this at all. And it's like, I understand wanting to have a clean production, but it's so like, it was down to like, even down to like the vocal performances sounded like they were so like clean and polished that it sounded like not real. It sounded like a robot unsure of himself or something, just like, fuck, just let it go.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not fucking, sweating in the studio and blowing out your voice, your recording's gonna sound like crap. Put in some work.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
But I don't know. I totally understand that perspective though for some people, but everybody has this perception of what they want to put out into the world, and some people really
Yeah.
let that pressure of that perception
Yes.
like
And
have a chokehold on them. It's
I mean,
rough.
the volume war. The volume war is like, I remember that being the only thing I cared about early when we were playing music. I was like, I want this to be as loud as the radio. We had multiple people tell us like, it's going to sound better because of like the dynamics of this song, because of how it's working, if it's not as loud as that. And I was like, that means we're doing it wrong.
Totally.
And that was just so ingrained in the perception, like you said, that now when I listen back, I'm like, oh my God, if they had just not compressed the entire track and turned it up to 11, like that song would have sounded so much better.
Yeah.
And we were told that. And now you see people that are actually coming out with music that is not turned up to 11. People like Francis Starlight, Francis and the Lights, if you're familiar with him. Mm-mm. And even like some of James Blake's albums are just like at violently different volumes. Like as you're listening through his discography, you're like, that really doesn't matter as long as it sounds as good as it sounds.
No, it
you know
doesn't
what I
fucking
mean?
matter. Yeah.
And so that's another one of those lessons.
I think like I feel like those kind of myths get perpetuated to like hinder underground musicians,
definitely,
and trick them in the shit.
Definitely.
You know, it's like I don't fucking believe anything anyone tells me anymore. I heard some shit on the radio about like
nothing.
These people tested 11 brands of bottled water and they found plastic in all of them. I'm like, yeah, fuck
they
you.
They were plastic bottles of water.
Yeah, like fuck you. Even if there was, it's fine. I don't care if there's plastic in the water. It's like they're just telling you that because they want to sell you some other shit. I don't believe anything. I don't believe in. I'll drink the plastic in the water and I won't compress my fucking songs. Fuck you.
No. How are your songs?
Songs are good, dude. Right now, Sikes material. It's been like such a slow tornado. Like there's so much going on, but it's moving so fucking slow just because of other things I have going on. But
right, because you're here.
I'm here, you know, like like podcast stuff, work stuff.
Right.
The biggest thing, honestly, that's been in the way of the Sikes stuff is Greywalker stuff, because we just finished up a new album and filming videos and photo shoots and booking shows and all that stuff, and I don't want to release 2 albums at once.
That's fair.
Because
seems tacky.
Yeah.
What kind of guy are you?
well, last time I put out the last Sikes album and the last Greywalker album both came out like a couple months apart from each other, and it was just like a nightmare.
So how many months are you thinking of waiting?
I don't know. I hadn't really considered that. But Sikes in general, minus the recorded material, there's a lot of like material that's written. Right. And the bands, we've just been grinding it out with the band and getting the new live show together. Getting ready. We're starting to play some shows. Dates are coming up and stuff. So working on the merch and album artwork. Like, a lot of behind the scenes shit is happening. But the album will come out whenever it's ready. I know
is it recorded?
It's mostly recorded.
Okay.
I mean, there's a full pre-production demo version of it with like all guitars, bass, vocals, everything that's like done. Yeah. So, and I probably could release that as an album. But we're going to like basically re-record the entire thing like in a small chunk of time, just so everything's fresh.
Yeah. Live record it?
Everything but the drums are live on the album. All the drums are programmed. I wanted it to sound.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I think you told me that.
Yeah, I want this album to be like really hip hop sounding. It's a really sample heavy based album, even though there's still a lot of live instrumentation on it. Right. There's a shit ton of samples on it, like more sampling than I've ever done. So it's cool.
It's kind of where it is now. I mean, it like a lot of music as a whole is so sample based.
Yeah, the album is very much like a satirical commentary on the current state of hip hop and underground music in general.
Okay.
It's a very like
hip hop in underground music or hip hop and underground music.
I mean, it's focused on hip hop because it is a hip hop album.
Right, for sure.
Definitely isn't written from like the perspective. I'm not like I don't really attack any genres or things in particularly. Everything's pretty
It's
vague.
not a
so
diss
it
album.
could be like things that I'm talking about could be applied to any genre of
Right.
underground music, but definitely
Yeah.
my focus on it was like stuff with underground hip hop and
Definitely.
pop and all of
Yeah.
that. But it could be applied to anything.
Just life.
I don't know. There's one swear word on the whole album.
I remember you telling me
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I could say about it. I don't know.
What
That's
other
about it.
what other plugs can you give?
What other plugs can I give? Playing Millville Music Festival.
May 12th, right?
May 12th,
I
yeah.
knew that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming up really soon.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
be
just
there
in a few
Yeah.
weeks. So couple weeks. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be tight. But less about me, more about you. When's this fucking solo shit dropping?
So the plan is May 25th, which is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about I don't know, somewhere between 40 and 70% done with it.
That's a big number difference.
Well, it's depending on how you look at it. If you're looking at it by completion of tracking, then I'm 70% done. If you're looking at it as like the overarching, I still have to mix and send it to get mastered, I'm a little bit closer to 40.
Cool.
But I'm happy with that 40 because admittedly, I'm not as proactive as you. And
So what do you do in your time? Why aren't you? What else are you doing?
Well,
I know you work now. I mean, you have a job. Of
I
course.
do have a job.
You have a job.
I am very much in the starving artist category of the world right now. That tax bracket, when I did my taxes, I was like, yeah, I'm starving. I keep buying instruments. I'm starving.
Aside from work, and when you do work on, what are you doing in between? Any other projects or things?
I mean, there's a lot of smaller things, like working with friends, and then honestly, like a lot of my time is spent like in the theoretical realm of my music. Like I've gotten to a point where I think about what I'm going to play or record a lot more than I ever did before I even touched an instrument. And so like if I walk upstairs and I turn things on and I don't have that thought, that sort of cognizant presence right there in front of me, I'm like, no, this isn't time for this. Like this isn't what I'm trying to do. And so like part of the reason that I've been so lackadaisical in my own production in the past was that I was being, too hard on myself in a lot of ways to ever get any of those thoughts out. I was just, choking.
Yeah.
I was being a perfectionist before I even tried.
Yeah.
And then when I did try, it wasn't what I wanted. So then that just layered on top of itself. And then, a buddy of mine, Royal Haunts, had a release show, and that was February 22nd. And he shot me a text 1 week before the release show and said, "How's your live setup looking?" And I said, "It's there." And he was like, "Would you be interested in jumping on this show?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I jumped on this show with no songs at all and had not recorded or performed with the instrumentation setup that I have now. And so in 1 week, I sat down and I wrote this set and I played his release show and nothing went wrong. You know how many shows I've ever played where nothing went wrong, Brian? That was like maybe the first one where nothing turned off, nothing didn't work. And it was that after that I started to really think and say like, oh, wait a minute, that went well. And like I did that. And even though those songs weren't the songs that I'm working on now, because I just busted them out so quickly, it was like, again, there was no one to tell me no there.
Yeah.
It was like I did that they weren't perfect, and I performed them, and people maybe didn't understand, but they still came up to me afterwards, you know?
Yeah, dude,
It's uncomfortable watching me perform now because I'm like just a man surrounded by machines. It's like it's a very Blade Runner experience.
yeah, but that's that's not,
not
like an
even a
incredibly
man.
unique thing though.
I know. I'm not even incredibly unique anymore.
It's just weird for you. But I feel the same way about playing. I just played a solo Sikes set on Monday
Where?
at Cativo.
Oh.
And it was so funny because it's like even all these years later, it still like weirds me out. I'm still like, but it's like I've done this 1,000 times.
Right.
And like I'm like recording songs
Yeah.
and like mixing them. Like, man, I hope this sounds good. And it's like, motherfucker, I've put all this other. It's fine.
Right.
It's like I know. It's like I know what I'm
Right.
doing.
Yes.
Just shut up and stop worrying about it and just fucking do it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I need to just like remind myself of that. But it's like as you grow this experience in learning different techniques and production with recording or like performance and
Right.
seeing a lot of live acts and things like that. It's like you start getting these ideas in your head of like what you should do and what you shouldn't do
Yeah.
versus when you were younger and like more naive to things. Like you just were hungry and you just went for it.
Exactly.
Now it's like I'm always like too focused on like what is technique and what is quote
Yeah.
right and quote wrong, and it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah,
Why do
yeah.
you think fucking like a lot of the time when new artists come out and break through, they're like young people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they have that fucking energy because that's what people
Yes.
care about. Nobody gives a fuck about your like curated, super articulate, perfected fucking art piece. You know what I mean?
No.
Like
Yeah.
it's like
Completely.
other people are going to be saying it seems like they have a wet nap in their mouth, like I said.
Right. And yeah, I mean, also, I think a big part of my sort of headspace going into this is that when I was younger, I was, 18 or 17 when we started, and everybody else was like 15 in the band. And so, like, we were that young, talented band. Everybody told us. That's all I heard. You know what I mean? From the time that I was 18. And then so when we moved to Pittsburgh, it was sort of like this. It was almost like there was a switch where I actually expected it to just happen. And it was like this destination.
By it, you mean like
It. I
like
mean,
the
it.
shit to take off.
And it was like all of that sort of filter that I had in my head from people just, this is so good, you're so young. I mean, that had created a destination, but it had ruined my motivation. And that hunger wasn't there. I mean, like, I'm being way more productive now because that's something that has come back. It's just this, like, I have the incessant need to create again.
Yeah.
Which I did not let myself have for the last 2 years in Pittsburgh. Whether it be the landscape of the music scene right now, whether it be what was going on in my band, whether it be what was going on in my personal life. I mean, I just didn't have that. And I realized that that's not me not having that. You know what I mean? That was me forcing myself not to have it, but that's not really who I am. I just want to make stuff.
Yeah.
And that's part of the fluidity of this. Like I was talking about the other EP that I might record. But I might just use those as demos to, I'm trying to push like just random recordings on
create
SoundCloud.
and just
You know
put
what
it
I mean?
out.
Exactly.
I've been starting to work on, I'm going to do, after this Sikes album, I'm going to do another solo project.
Oh,
That's going to be
different.
Not hip hop.
Whoa.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do like
folk rock.
No, I've been wanting to do like a gothy.
No.
I've been wanting to do like a gothy industrial thing.
Yeah, like
forever.
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, sure. Like a 9 Inch Nails, or if you're familiar with there's a newer band. They're called Street Sex.
Streets, I'm not.
I want to do like 9 Inch Nails or Street Sex or Soft Moon.
sweet.
You
listen to Girl Band?
No.
You should listen to Girl Band. They're like along the same vein, from Denmark or something like that.
But yeah, I just want to do like this like really like a very abrasive,
Yeah.
dark electronic thing that's not
Yeah.
rap.
Right.
And isn't also like metal.
Right.
So-
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the middle point.
And that's where like I got my start in making music, was doing stuff like that. Like when I was doing stuff seriously. I mean, when I first started making music
Right.
at all, it was to make goofy rap beats for me and my friends in middle school to rap
Yeah.
on. But then like when I first started doing like serious projects, it was like all instrumental, industrial stuff.
Is it going to be instrumental?
No, it won't be
So
instrumental.
you're going to be on it.
Yeah. It won't be instrumental. but
Evolution.
that's still like a return to my roots. And I've been like
Yeah,
working on like very, very rough ideas here and there. Like not trying to dig too deep into it because I'm
Right.
trying to keep my focus on the Sikes
everything
project.
else.
But it is definitely there in
Right.
my brain that like once I get this Sikes album done and, you know, we've pushed it to a point where it plateaus and, you know, I have some time to work in the studio again, I'm going to definitely tap into that,
Yeah.
the dark side. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it the dark side. Yes. So I'm excited about that. And I also, if I am going to do like another hip hop project, I want to do something that's a little bit more collaborative again.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I
more of
mean-
a, 'cause as much as I like working with the band, a big part of the reason why there hasn't been a new Sikes album in so long is because of the band.
Right. Well, I mean,
Because it's not just my schedule. You
yeah,
know what I
you're
mean?
coordinating so much, and it's at this point of life where everybody is. Everyone's got so much shit going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very understanding of that. Everybody that's in the
Right.
band, you know, it's not like, unfortunately, I'm not able to pay them.
Right.
You know what I mean? We play shows that, you know, we're not making anything. So, like, they're spending their time and, like,
Right.
gas to, like, or their time just to, like, learn the songs, their gas to show up to shows or get to practices.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm very appreciative of it. But, like, if there's ever moments where it's like, oh, like, you know, I can't practice this week or I can't do this, I'm very much like, okay, it's cool. I get it. Where in my head, I want to be like, you want to fucking do this or not, man? Like, you take this seriously? There's that- but
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
you know, but this it's like, well, you know,
the ultimatums.
we're all fucking old now, too. That's the thing.
I know.
You know, like, it's like, you know, some people got fucking kids. Some people were still in school. Some people were working 3 jobs.
Some people are
Some
on that
people in 2
career
bands.
path.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like, fuck. Like,
that makes
I
it hard.
appreciate you taking any time to, you know, work on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with how everything is turning out. The
Yeah.
album sounds like all the songs are sick, but it's just so like slow, unfortunately. Just like, but hey, it'll be worth it when it happens. At the end of
Right.
like what's the rush?
Right.
Really?
And like you said, you don't want to personally, you don't want to release 2 albums at the same within the proximity. And so that in itself is like,
In a way, it's been kind of a blessing because
you're hearing all sorts of shit you don't like.
well, yeah, the songs just like
No,
I
I'm
think
kidding.
that like part of me feels that if the album was ready to come out any sooner, it would have. But little things keep changing, and I think it's been for the better.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm just like sitting on a batch of
Right,
songs that hasn't
right,
changed or
right.
has gotten stale. Like, because like we most recently added a guitar player again into the mix, and
Right.
started incorporating him into all of the songs. Because I had initially like left some open space in a couple tracks where I wanted him just to do like guest spots on.
Right.
And then we like flew through those and everything sounded so cool. And I was like, how about we like
Do it. Go
replace
for
some
it.
of this other stuff? Or you know what I mean? Like, and try this out. Maybe replace these samples with guitar parts.
Yeah.
And then
Next
thing you know, he had guitars on the whole album. And it's like, well, I guess you're in the band now. Sorry.
Sorry. The one more person you have to coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's chill. It's chill.
Yeah.
I do really envy the days of just like being very solo though, because I know I could just like crank something out super fast. So I'm really looking forward to doing that
in a different
down
vein.
the line. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cranking stuff out super fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, or just have more of a control over it, because it is kind of a bummer too in the same right to like sit on songs for so long
Yeah.
and like constantly like overthink them. I would love to just like get a track together, put vocals on it, just record it. There
Put
it
it
is.
out. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like,
And you bringing up control is interesting because that's like I was talking about with the way that we soured on Pittsburgh music. I don't know. The way that we disbanded, the way that we put ourselves on hiatus. A lot of that is because like we let what was surrounding us control what we were doing.
yeah, you can't do that.
And
dude.
I mean,
to carve your own lane.
at this point, it's like, and I'm not saying this is a detriment to any band out there that's playing music in Pittsburgh, obviously, but even any show that I play, I want at least 75% control of it. That means I want to book the bands myself. I want to pick the venue myself. I want to have my people come in and do lights. I want to have my people come in and do video. I want to have my friends that I know can do this stuff come with me and do it and create these like almost like art installations.
Yeah.
That I want it to be so much more than what I thought was the end game of being in the band. Because now I'm on my own schedule. I'm not coordinating with other people. I don't necessarily, I know for a fact that this music that I'm making doesn't necessarily fit into a niche. It's not a slice of pie in the bigger pie. It's very much like a different dessert altogether. And so I know that I need to make the scene for that myself.
Absolutely.
So that's where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'm 110% agree with you. You know, I mean, especially moving forward with like Sikes and New Violence stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with us playing shows, it's like, okay, like we're doing the Millville Festival. So it's like, it's cool. Like,
And the festivals are
like,
so fun.
I will like give up control for the festival, but they're still
Yes.
letting us do the video, like our projecting and
Yes.
everything. So it's like, that's kind of like a thing now that's like,
Yeah.
if we can't do the full live show,
yeah.
there's no point in us fucking playing, because this is what it is.
Right.
And I don't
It's-
want to give
it's a
somebody some
living-
half version of what our thing
Exactly.
is. It's like, I'm sorry if it sounds like pretentious or silly to you, but you know what I mean? Like,
But
if
it
you're
is.
asking me to play something, you should be
Exactly.
asking me to play something because you
As-
know what I
yes.
have.
Yeah.
You want my product. You don't want just half
Absolutely.
of it. You know what I mean? It'd be like, you don't go to a fucking restaurant and order a burger and they just, you know.
Cut it in half, give it to you
Yeah.
without a bun.
Yeah. The fuck is
They
that?
just give you the bacon from the bacon cheeseburger. you
Yeah.
know?
No, you want the whole fucking thing if that's
Right.
what you ordered, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, don't order me if you don't want the full fucking plate, bro.
I agree.
So as a result of that, you know, kind of moving forward, I do want to have shows that I have more control over as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still like, if I get asked to play shows, like I'm doing, I did
Definitely.
that show at Kativo, you
Right.
know? So I think it's good to like keep your feet wet. Like even if
Yes.
they're shows that you don't have control over, it's like, okay, well, I'll play solo. I'll do my little set. I'll test out some new material.
Yeah.
I'll meet some new people. It's good to just keep yourself
Yeah.
out there. But I'm not going to drag everybody else from their lives
Right.
on a weeknight to bring all their shit down and set up all this stuff to do it for all these people. You know what I mean?
And then
I'll bring my fucking
Your
I'll just
tabletop.
I'll take my MIDI controller and my laptop down and like 5
Yep.
t-shirts and like set them up and talk to some people like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Keep it
And
simple.
Why not?
We Greywalker, we just backed out of a show. We were scheduled to play it. It was just like we were scheduled to play it. It was out of state. So, and then like the main band that set it up couldn't play the show.
Oh, what?
So they were like, we got this replacement band, then that replacement band dropped off. And like we hit them up and they're like, well, there isn't really a guarantee. And it's just like, we're not playing this fucking show.
Just Greywalker. It's gonna be the only band on the bill. You guys are gonna drive
there was
it.
other bands on the bill, but like they were like not like, I don't know. It just
A different caliber, like a different.
yeah, it was just like weird vibes. And it's like we've done this, we've been through this
Right.
enough times where we could tell if something's gonna kind of be bullshit.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like you
definitely.
can take the gamble and you might show up and it might be great.
Right.
But dude, for like all of us, like our guitar player would have to put a vacation day and work for the next day and all this stuff. And it's just like, we're not that hungry to play a show out of state. Because we know just because it's out of state doesn't mean it's going to be fucking good.
Right.
We're not in control of it.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You know? So it's being any show that I jump on, even if I'm not in control of it, being very aware of the other bands that are on the bill.
Yes.
Especially if it's like a touring act and there's other locals. Like, who the fuck are these people? Are they pushing the show? Who do they know? Do we know the same people? Just like, make it like put yourself in some sort of a control of it to a degree that, you can help get some people out. It's not that hard to get people to come out to shows if you know how to like talk about it.
Right.
And also if like you're just smart about it too. Like what
Don't play every weekend.
Yes. Don't play every
Step one, Sikes and Brendan, don't play every weekend. That's the first mistake. Don't invite the same people to the same show that you're playing every weekend, please. Besides that, what else you got? Those are my two biggest ones.
Do you have anything coming up? Speaking of shows, you playing anything?
I'm going to have a release show.
Okay.
I'm eyeing June 8th. It's going to be at a non-venue in Pittsburgh. It will be a room that, like we've discussed, I will make my own. So yeah, I think June 8th is going to be the day.
Do you want to say that for sure, or do we want to?
I'm still waiting to hear a couple things. Here's the thing. I have until May 8th to know if June 8th is absolutely the day. If I have 1 month of preparation, that's exactly what I want. So as long as it's not May 8th right now, it's not June 8th yet. But I'm looking at June 8th.
All right.
And it will be the For Rest release show
I'm interested.
for my EP.
Word.
The End of Substance Theory.
Oh, that's the name of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The working title is The End of Substance Theory.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. So where can people find you and any future releases and music and stuff?
Instagram is the best way to find me. I am For Rest with an underscore beneath each. There's a Facebook page. Does anybody use Facebook anymore?
Yes. But I mean, depending on your target demo.
It's really dangerous. It's just horrifying being on Facebook. I know they're tracking me right now.
Yeah.
I know Mark Zuckerberg's selling me out to whoever he's selling me out to. I don't care what he says in front of the
We're
Supreme
not
Court.
that important.
No, that's true.
I don't
It's
think-
the same as with my taxes. Like, and if I make a mistake, I'm not going to get audited. It's okay. I need to work on music. I don't have time to deal with this tax stuff.
Yeah,
100%. I think I
100%.
got it done. TurboTax did it for me.
Yeah, I did my TurboTax too. So
Yeah. So neither of us are getting audited.
we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not that important.
Yeah, so there's a Facebook. It's by the same I Am For Rest. There's no Twitter. I don't get on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, fuck Twitter.
I don't know why it lost its luster so much. I just don't. This is the thing. I don't have the need anymore to just like put one-liners out there in the world every day.
Oh yeah.
I don't have enough nice things to say about the world to do that.
That and like my need for attention and affection is not.
I know.
I don't.
I
care.
have some good attention and affection in my life. You know what I mean? Like outside of that, I'm just gonna spout hateful stuff and just put it into the ether. And there's enough people doing that. It's okay.
Word.
I'll be jaded somewhere. I'll be jaded out here in the real world. It's where I should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep.
But no,
Just
seriously.
keep your. Just focus on your friends and family and the people that you care about, and push your music out to as many people in the real world as you can.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is like social media was always supposed to be an accessory to the real world.
Right.
You don't want the real world to be an accessory to social media,
Which
and that's
is
something that a lot of
frighteningly happening.
It's happened. We're
Yeah.
there. We
Oh,
are there.
I know you're
you still
right.
have control of how you want to manage
Exactly.
the show that is your life,
Exactly.
right?
And I'm spending a lot less time on social media.
I'm gonna leave it on that.
Yeah,
And we're done.
Yeah, we're done. That's
it. Get the fuck out.
That's the perfect way to leave it. Yeah, no, I am for rest. Find me on Instagram. There will be a link to my SoundCloud.
Word.
I will be just releasing a slew of songs before my EP.
That sounds fan-fucking-tastic.
It's never gonna stop.
I'm gonna do my outro real quick, and then
Do
that'll
your
be
outro.
it. And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Brendan, go buy him for rest. I don't know why. That's what your music sounds like, right?
No, not anymore.
Thank,
Not anymore.
dude. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you.
And
as always.
shout outs again to Work Hard Epicast for letting us use the space. If you're watching on video,
This is it.
Hi.
It's a beautiful space.
and I'll be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the
Wait,
drill.
no, you're gonna be in your apartment next week.
Oh yeah. Well,
Different
same place
place.
on the internet. Is what I mean.
I don't even know if that's true. See, reality is an accessory to the internet.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be back again.
You'll physically be in a different place.
I'll
though. Make
physically
that
be in a
clear.
different place, but
right.
you'll be able to listen to the episode from wherever you're sitting now or wherever you're sitting then. And that's about it. My name is Sikes. Start the beat 2017. Woo woo! And give them your whoop whoop.
It's 2018.
Holy shit! It is 2018. Woo woo! Thanks for listening. Shit.